Dear friends, we are before Rosh Hashanah, and this is a time of year, of course, that we have the great opportunity of thinking about our deeds and making plans for changes. And it's so healthy to have a time of year that we have an opportunity to really think where we are and who we would like to be. There's a Rambam in Ilchot Teshuvah that tells us that there are different times of year, although Teshuvah is open all year round, every moment of life, but there are moments that are auspicious and propitious for Teshuvah. And this is the time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippurim. Now, what good does it do? I'm thinking about a person who does Teshuvah during the year, regrets certain things, and decides to change. And a person between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippurim who goes through the same motion. He regrets something they did just now, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, and decides to change. Is the Teshuvah that a person does during the year weaker than the Teshuvah that a person does between the 10 days? Let me reformulate that. Is the Teshuvah that a person does during the year going to stick less than if he does it in Aseret Yemei Teshuvah? Let me reformulate again. How many times do we make decisions during the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, including Yom Kippurim, and it doesn't work? It doesn't work, and the proof is that a year or two or three later, you're still struggling with the same thing. So, are we missing something here? There's a point I would like to share with everyone, based a little bit on this week's parasha. In this week's parasha, Parashat Nitzavim, there's a famous pasuk that, according to some Rishonim, talks about Torah. According to some Rishonim, it talks about Teshuvah. I'm going to use the Rishonim that talk about Teshuvah. It says that Ki karov elecha hadavar meod beficha ubilvavcha la'asoto. It's not as far as one would think. It's reachable. It's accessible. To the point that the pasuk says, "Ki karov elecha hadavar meod." This thing, which again, according to those Rishonim, we talk about Teshuvah, is close to you, close enough. Beficha ubilvavcha la'asoto, in your mouth and in your heart to do. What does beficha ubilvavcha la'asoto? So the Ramban, most commentaries say the same pshat. Shitvadu et avonam. You have to say vidu. You have to confess with the mouth. V'yashuvu belibam beficha ubilvavcha. You have to formulate how you're going to change, and bilvavcha, and in the heart, you have to decide, make a full decision that you're going to change. Beficha ubilvavcha la'asoto. You're going to change forever. Rabotai, I would like to take you on a detour and tell you a chidush that I think is perhaps the key why it doesn't always work. Let's say you're talking to somebody, you're a guy, you're talking to somebody, and you ask the person, and this guy is telling you, look, I will make my situation, my financial situation, better this year. Oh, great, this is great, I'm happy for you. The first thing that you're thinking is, how are you going to do that? So let's say you tell him, so how are you going to do that? So he tells you, I'm going to work better. Okay? You say, that's a little too general. Would you be more specific? How are you going to grow your business? Well, I'm going to work more hours. Oh, okay, that's something that was getting somewhere. But what are you going to do? If the person did not sit down and study with a professional, without a professional, whatever you want, take a piece of paper and make a plan what to change. Maybe the brand has to change. Maybe the marketing has to change. Maybe if it's a restaurant, maybe the menu has to change. Maybe the painting has to change. But you got to come with very specific things in order to make this work. When someone comes to you and says, I'm just going to make my situation better, it's a laughable thing. It's too general. Now I ask you a question. When we make the decisions, before Yom Kippur, we all think, this year I'm going to try to do this. Okay. Did we use as much resources and seriousness as we would do for a business to get better? Or we just say, oh, I'm going to get better. So I did an experience. a couple days ago, I asked in my class, I asked someone, okay, so what are we going to work on this year? Huh? I said, no, I need to have more kavanah in the tefillah. Okay, that's amazing. How are you planning to do that? I'm going to have more kavanah in the tefillah. No, that's what you're trying to achieve. How you going to do that? And the guy woke up and said, by the way, last year I had the same decision and it didn't work. I said, you know why? Because you didn't make a plan. You sound the same like the guy who's going to say, I'm going to become rich. How are you going to become rich? You need to have a plan. You have to be serious. You have to be mature about this. You sound like a child. I'm going to be rich. How are you going to be rich? Doesn't happen overnight. You have to have a plan. Here too, Rabotai, we have to have a plan of action. If we don't make a plan of action, it's ridiculous. We sound like a child. I'm going to get better at this. How are you going to do better? I said to the guy, maybe you should study tefillah. Maybe every day you learn 5 minutes on the importance of tefillah, on the kavanah of tefillah, on what it means. Take a book with a translation and see what you're reading. If you don't understand something, you can't have kavanah. Impossible. I'm just saying a couple of ideas, but it's the same for everything. I'm going to get better at something. How? Beficha, you are saying it. Ubilvavcha, you have decided. La soto. There's 3 points. Pe, lev, and asiya. Plan of action. How you're going to execute that it could become a decision that sticks. And as long as we don't do that, it's not going to work. To answer our first question, maybe between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, there's an inspiration that comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashivenu Hashem elecha v'nashua. Hashem comes, He gives you an inspiration to want to do better. And during the year, there's less of this inspiration. Yes, there are times that are more inspirational. But at the end of the day, God is not going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And La Soto comes to tell you, take a pen and paper. Take an expert. Go talk to people. Study. See how you could take something, a principle that beficha ubilvavcha, you really mean that you want to change. But La Soto, make a plan. Otherwise, it just sounds like the guy who wants to become rich without a plan. Tizku l'shanim rabot, ne'imot v'tovot, and Shabbat Shalom.